thankful for the farmers and ranchers who put food on our table this Turkey Day weekend and all year long. Coming up on Grow, growing the economy through livestock. We'll learn more about a coalition promoting livestock in some unexpected ways. Plus, a special report on how central Nebraska is impacted by rising nitrate levels. And a local farmer counts his blessings, thankful to be back on the farm, even with a disability. It's time to grow. Nebraska is open for business, and as we celebrated Turkey Day this past weekend, poultry is just one of the areas the state is considering for livestock growth.
We need to do what we do best, and in Nebraska we do row crops and livestock best.
As a world leader in cattle and corn, Nebraska looks to livestock to grow the state's economy.
Great natural resources, we have the feed, and we still have a lot of open space available to grow livestock in the state.
A coalition of farm groups works together, encouraging farmers to embrace hog and poultry barns.
You know, I try to bring back the saying from when I was, young, is that, hogs and poultry can still pay for the farm. And I think that's even more true today as we watch the volatility in the ag market. Livestock provide that opportunity to diversify.
They hope for continued growth in beef cattle, but are looking beyond the burger.
Poultry, swine, dairy, beef, the opportunities are really untapped, I think, still at this point.
Dairy producers say the state has everything except places to process milk.
We have a lot of interest in people wanting to move their dairies, but right now we just need processors.
Nearly half of Nebraska counties consider themselves livestock friendly, and the state has introduced a new scoring tool the governor says gives producers more predictability if they'll meet local zoning. These efforts appear to be paying off, especially poultry, with a chick hatchery in Grand Island for laying eggs and a Costco chicken processing plant in Fremont.
The market for poultry and chicken is up, and so that makes it an opportunity for growth.
When it comes to livestock, dairy producers say Nebraska is open for business.
We're ready to go.
Nebraska obviously well established as the beef state, but we're seeing some unexpected places of growth. Which of these livestock sectors do you think holds the most promise for growth? Is it poultry, dairy, hogs, or even aquaculture? Answer our question of the week by following Grow on Twitter, and we'll share the results next time. A congressional mandate is on hold for those hauling agricultural commodities. The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration announced this week they're waiving the electronic logging device rule for those transporting ag commodities. The ELD has been controversial. Cattlemen say hauling livestock is different than other goods, and they welcome the news. Federal regulators say they've listened to feedback and will continue to take steps to ease the transition. We're out here baling some corn near Hastings as another sign harvest has neared the end. As of this past Monday, the USDA Crop Progress Report shows 93% of corn has been picked. Precipitation was limited with good weather for harvest for those who are still trying to wrap things up. That 93% compares with 96% complete last year at this time. Winter wheat rates mostly good to fair. 91% of sorghum has been harvested. Both sides of the debate over the Keystone XL pipeline declare victory with that decision this past week. Pipeline fighters declare victory.
We beat TransCanada.
They filled the atrium, leading to the Public Service Commission with applause. After 8 years, the matter settled in 7 minutes.
And this morning I have an order prepared.
TransCanada wins approval to build in Nebraska, but not the path the company wanted for the $8 billion pipeline. And the choice of an alternate path prompted 2 of 5 commissioners to vote no.
The route that's being approved here today is a different route. Quite simply, the mainline alternative route was not the focus of that intense study.
A coalition of Native American tribes, landowners, and activists calls it a win to see the primary route rejected.
This commission denied TransCanada's proposed preferred route.
But opponents say the new path has not been scrutinized.
Those landowners have not been apprised of the possibility of a pipeline going through their land.
In a 75-page order, the majority of commissioners agree the alternate is in the public interest because more of it would be built alongside the existing Keystone 1 pipeline, avoiding much of the sandhills and affecting less wildlife habitat and fewer acres of cropland. Commissioner Rod Johnson of Sutton agreed, but said he would hold TransCanada to its pledge to do whatever it takes to restore any land affected by construction. Landowners who have fought it say it's not enough.
And we as a state have to do everything we can to protect that resource.
Oil industry groups say it's a win-win. TransCanada's CEO expressed uncertainty, saying the company will look at the cost before deciding its next move, saying they're spending $24 billion on other projects. So even with approval, it's unknown what happens next.
There is not a single person in this fight that will go home today and say that the fight is over.
Here's a look now at the 3 routes that had been proposed to run through Nebraska. The yellow one is the one approved this past week. It runs through Seward, Butler, and Saline counties. The other ideas had been going through Merrick, Polk, and York counties. Nitrogen fertilizer revolutionized farming, but especially here in the Hastings area where we're recording this week, challenges from nitrate levels in the water. NTV Sydney Edwards has a closer look.
This issue began decades ago. Farmers used nitrogen on their crops and thought the more the merrier. Now we battle toxic levels reaching 5 times the allowed amount of nitrates in our water supply.
I hear the corn is good. Yeah. You know, everybody I've talked to said it's really good.
The tractor rumbles into the field as Randy Ermacher harvests this year's crop. Beneath the surface, farmers in the Hastings area live with a problem decades in the making, a problem that's affecting the community's drinking water. Marty Stange, the environmental supervisor for Hastings Utilities, says nitrate levels above 10 are a no-go.
Ever since nitrates become a tool for the farmer to increase production, we've seen that coming our way, and certainly there's a lot in the soil between the surface and the aquifer, and that's going to continue to migrate into the aquifer as we go.
For farmers, it's become not only a water quality issue, but it's also impacting time and money too.
Nitrogen is expensive, so if we're putting too much on, we're wasting money, plus it's getting out of the red zone. You know, that's a lose-lose situation. So for the most part, farmers really pay attention to it, you know, just from a cost standpoint.
Ermacher is also chairman for the Little Blue Natural Resources District.
Davenport is right here.
Little Blue deals with protecting and conserving resources in towns across Nebraska.
Good data there.
And General Manager Mike Onen says many of those communities are affected by rising nitrate levels.
We do require the landowners to do soil sampling to find out what the residual nitrate is in their soil and then plan for the next crop, kind of set a reasonable yield goal and adjust their crop nitrogen requirements accordingly.
Onen says regulations include mandatory training events and working on irrigation management. Farmers also fight high nitrate levels at home. Ermacher says his well tests between 9 and 10, but his son's well has tested higher.
My son's house east of Roseland was also around 20, and so we have reverse osmosis units in all of our houses to keep the nitrates out.
Ermacher says farmers also use additives to prevent leaching, split applications, and do grid sampling, seeing what areas can use less nitrogen before applying it. But Ermacher says producers from the past can't be blamed.
They had no idea what they were doing, and so you can't blame them. You know, it's something we know now, and as we learn more, we need to take corrective measures to help, find the solutions for the problem.
Stange agrees. He believes it's really about keeping up with technology, monitoring levels, and using what's developed, even if it's pricey.
Your Thanksgiving dinner was a little cheaper this past Thanksgiving, according to the American Farm Bureau Federation. The 32nd annual price survey finds the average cost to feed a Feast of 10 is $49.12, a 75-cent drop. The big ticket item, 16-pound turkey, came in at $22.38 this year, about $1.50 a pound, a decrease of 2 cents per pound. So even as farmers and ranchers face economic challenges, they provide safe and affordable food all year long.
The trend in the cost of a Thanksgiving dinner over the past few years has been slightly lower. We've seen lower commodity prices across all of agriculture that has led to relatively flat retail prices. So we see here the Thanksgiving dinner has declined for the second consecutive year in a row and is really paced with the food consumed at home CPI index.
The shopping list for the informal survey includes turkey, stuffing, sweet potatoes, rolls with butter, peas, cranberries, veggie tray, pumpkin pie, coffee, and milk, all to serve a family of 10 with leftovers. And on this Thanksgiving weekend, we asked you what's your favorite part of the Thanksgiving holiday? Food, family, football, or shopping? Looks like family time takes the top spot, followed by food and football, and can't say we're surprised, shopping comes in last, at least with this audience. Up next, a closer look at the future of the livestock industry in Nebraska, and stick around, you won't want to miss this as a disabled farmer gets back to work on the farm with a little help. Stay with us.